my melanin is popping.
I'll tell you right now, I love my melanin.
There's actually 50 shades of melanin.
Legalize it. Yeah. Melanin. Da 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 da
Yeah, you better go ahead. You better go ahead with the consistent beat.
Oh. I mean, I am a musician, so I better know how to at least do that.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Highly Melanated. Highly Melanated.
Melanation. Feel good about that?
PJ Smalls here.
Yushi Motown.
I
man.
can't even think of anything.
We're coming for your spot.
You coming for my spot?
Who are you?
I know. I'm just like on another planet. I am Red. Still trying to figure out which musician I am. Red.
And I'm Jazz Hands Blair.
There you go.
The jazz hands. And in the studio today, we are joined with a very special guest.
Hey, folks. My name is Jovia Radix. I am a candidate for City Council in the 45th Council District.
Shout out.
Look at us.
Black women.
Pulling stuff.
You know, look
Wait,
at black girl magic all up in here.
She all came in here. I was like, damn.
Oh,
wow. Yes, ma'am.
All right, guys.
Like they
Thank you.
said on Greenleaf, she comes to change everything.
Mm.
She changes
There you go.
everything.
all right now.
Ain't this the truth? All right, guys. So as always, thank you for returning back for another episode. If this is your first time, we just want to say welcome to you.
Bienvenue.
Hello.
Aquaba.
As always, you can follow us on social media. That is on Instagram. That is Highly Melanated Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter. That's H_Melanated Pod. You can email us any questions, comments, concerns at highlymelanatedpodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, we're here, guys.
And on that note, good evening, everyone. This is Red Jeeves. And as usual, I would like to go around the room and I would like to see if anybody wanted to give a toast and a shout out to anybody that they find important in their lives or something that they're doing. But before we do that, I wanted to mention today's special. And today's special is all about Jovia Radix and politics.
Ooh.
Does anybody would like to give a shout out or like a toast? A drink, perhaps?
I have one.
Yes, Miss Blair.
Can I get a, I mean, all I drink is water, but I keep trying to come up with, like, different, like, iterations of water.
Just add some fruit to it.
I don't
Would you like a
fruit in
juice?
my water. Isn't
Can we
that
get a
weird?
sparkling water?
I know. I always get, like, a sparkling water, like a flavored sparkling water. So this time, Polar Bear is actually, like, my favorite brand of, like, seltzer water. So can I get a pomegranate flavored polar bear seltzer water, please.
Of course, madam. Would you like an umbrella?
Sure, make it fancy. Why not?
Make it dress
Thank
it
you.
up.
I appreciate
Okay.
you. I want to give my toast to a listener actually who messaged me on Instagram. On her Instagram handle is Rina Scent, RINASCENT, and she responded. She actually messaged me based off of one of the highlights that I have that has like all the podcast information in it. And she wrote in and said, your show is now part of my morning routine. Love you guys. Please continue to be an inspiration and a voice for our community. Bless up. And I just thought that was so sweet that like she did that and she took time to say something. And I feel so grateful to be part of your morning routine, sis. So thank you.
Shout
out
out.
to you.
How wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Are there any other toasts?
I'll take one since we're here.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
yeah, you better go ahead and jump right on in.
See, that's a politician for you. She know.
I'm gonna just jump in.
She know.
Okay, so I will have my classic, a tequila and ginger ale,
Well,
Absolutely.
for the folks of the 45th Council District.
Come on, 45th Council District.
Because at this point we have put them through something like 7 elections in the past 13 months. And we are asking them to come out again in May. So we are thanking you for putting up with us because we
Yes.
know at this point you are tired. But we are thanking you for putting up with us and staying engaged and staying on the roll with this one.
That's what
Absolutely.
community is about.
Yeah.
This
Thank
is
you,
true.
thank you, thank
Shout
you.
out, shout out.
Clink, clink.
Yeah. Clink, clink, clink,
Click,
clink,
click,
to my
click, 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 click.
Are there any other toasts?
I don't have one. Actually, you know what? I do have a toast.
Liar, liar.
Pants on fire. No, I want to give a special toast to my little cousin Jayla. It is her birthday.
oh, wait, is this the same cousin who gave everybody Ebola?
Yeah.
I mean,
got,
not
like-
really Ebola, but
Oh.
like,
She got,
like, 10 of
like,
us.
was like patient zero
Yeah.
and got like 20 people
He
sick.
came in. He was all like,
We were like, ugh,
Now it's gonna be my turn.
was not cute.
I just want to so I want to give a little shout out to her. And
Happy birthday, Jayla.
my
happy birthday.
and the special thing about that is because she also shares a birthday with my grandmother, so it's always like a girl, especially since grandma's passed. So my drink will be just a nice little orange juice.
Oh, that's cute. Of course, sir.
I'll have my own rum on the side.
No, okay. You got your little flask off to the side.
Is orange juice and rum, are those supposed to be two things that go together?
He doesn't care.
I don't.
Oh, okay. I was just genuinely asking.
They
'cause I
can,
don't-
though,
I
if
don't
you got
know.
the right
It's
rum.
white rum.
Yeah,
the
right,
white rum.
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
You
school me.
friend-
I don't drink, so I don't know.
I was just about to say,
so.
I'm Caribbean. We just, you know,
She said, put a little orange juice in everything. It's fine.
put a little rum in everything. Just,
That too.
I bet you Ebola would have been cured if you put a little rum in the tea.
See?
Just saying.
Yo, let me tell
Rub
you.
it
All
all on
right, see, no,
Wait,
see, now
wait.
we started talking
Sorry.
about alcohol, so now I get all
Sorry,
excited.
Exactly. You just came too, didn't you?
Remember that Oprah meme where she's like, "Tell me more." Okay. Anybody else?
Yes, I would like to make a toast. So I've been having healthy toast for the past couple of weeks, and it's time to break out of this.
Welcome back.
Right.
Yes. So, to be honest, I want to do a double toast. My first toast is going to be a bit of Ace of Spades, just a little taste. I want to toast some Ace of Spades to the Empress Beyonce for turning $8 million into a $60 million deal with Netflix,
Hey,
doing Homecoming.
yes.
It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was everything. She is the best performer of her time. I don't care what nobody says. Don't at me. Don't fight me. You're going to lose.
Wow.
Well,
All
there
right
it
now.
is.
Yes. Yes.
I was
of her time.
wondering why
Best
that toast was so
perfumer.
expensive with that Ace of Spades, but I'm here for it.
Because that is not even a drop in the bucket to Beyonce.
For it now.
And then my second toast is going to be a bit of Hennessy Barack 44th President Limited Edition 2009 Rare.
Oh my.
And that toast right there, oh yes, that's good stuff right there. And that toast is going to go out to Russell Wilson, who has a $140 million deal, 4 years, the highest paid player in the NFL, baby. And he what? He black.
Go ahead, Sierra.
You know, he's amazing because
He's black.
of so many things, but he's somebody who always takes the time to show appreciation. Did you guys see what he did with he's already like spending that in a smart way. So he he gifted his offensive lineman $12,000 in Amazon stock. And that just speaks to so many things that like we've been talking about, just like how to invest and how to do things wisely. And I read part of what he was saying, and he was like, I could have done something like super flashy, like bought everybody like a like a new car, or like he could have done something that was just materialistic, but he did something that is going to help set people up. For a financially secure future.
Yep, especially the younger players in the game who come out of college and don't know.
Especially in the game of football, where your career can be over in an instant.
That's right.
Absolutely. So we went from calling him Sierra's husband to that's Russell Williams' wife.
Russell Wilson.
And yeah,
close.
Russell Wilson.
Okay.
I know I'm saying Williams because I'm a Williams. I just want to claim him as one of our own, but I know he's a Wilson. That's why I said it. Don't be talking about me.
Don't worry.
All right. So now that we have wet our whistle with a toast, thank you. Let's move into our highly melanated senses. And those are the things that we either see, touch, smell, hear, or taste throughout the week that is just full of melanation. Does anybody have a highly melanated sense that they would like to share? I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
I have one. I want to... It's a toast / melanated sense just because I saw this, but I also want to pay homage to my cousin who just had her baby.
Hey.
So excited for her.
Welcome,
and
little
the
one.
thing that I am the most excited about for her is how excited like she is to be a mom, to be a Black mom. Like she is just like, there's so many things that I can't wait to teach him and so many things that I can't wait to show him. And he's a mixed race baby. So my cousin is African American and then her husband is Hispanic. So she's just so excited to just teach him all about like his heritage on like both sides, like, the origins of like where his parents come from. And it's just a really exciting thing. And it's just it makes me feel so good to see her just so ready to just do this.
That's
and
pretty
like
dope.
she can't wait to get started. Like she's already over here like reading books to him about like Africa, and I'm just like, girl, like he just came out. Like but hey, train him up young. So
right.
There you go. So that is my highly melanated sight sense.
Okay. Sight sense.
Mm-hmm. Sense of sight.
Sense of sight.
Because it's something I saw.
I have a melanated sense. This one is a sense of, mind you, I'm doing the felt thing because it's touched. So I have a sense of touching. I recently just hung out with a good friend of mine. Shout out to you, Stephanie. She is in the process of creating her fabric line, like her actual line of clothing, and she like let me see some of these different fabrics that she's using, and it's gonna be pretty dope. I don't have the name of it off the top of my head, and unfortunately I don't have it with me. So, but
you'll give us an update next
I'll
week.
give you an update, yeah, because she's about to do it. It's about to be real Wakanda up in here.
Oh,
so yeah.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever in the Bronx.
I was like, who's Rhonda Forever? Wait, all right. I have one. This is, I guess, the sense of hearing. It's actually all of the senses, but this past weekend I went to a Moby event, which is mobilizing our Black Men Initiative. And basically, it's a opportunity to sit down and actually talk to and have a forum about things that affect our community, in particular, men. And one of the guests that were on there talking was actually talking about mental health awareness and then just, I guess, drugs in the community. And I think that I wish I remembered his name. I have to go back to that and freaking get his name. But he did an amazing job with just really talking from the beginning how the epidemic with crystal meth had started. And I think a lot of people didn't realize.
So with Michael Rice?
Yes, Michael Rice. Thank you so much.
That's my buddy. He's gonna come on at some point.
So Michael, you did an amazing job because I think so many people don't sit down and actually take the time to talk about how it started, how it really affects us. I think a lot of people say things like, "Oh, that's just the white man's drug," and it's really not.
It's really not.
And I am so happy and so proud of hearing other people doing things in any aspect in any part of our community just to like make sure that we're doing better than what we should be. So thank you, Michael Rice, and thank you for pointing his name out, Michael Rice.
Yeah, I just wanted to just further add on into that. Did you say the name of the documentary? No, you didn't.
No.
Because I didn't think I heard it. The documentary that he's actually speaking of is called Party Boy documentary, and it's a excellent documentary. So I recommend everybody get involved. You can follow him on Party Boy Documentary on Instagram, and you can get all of the information. He's doing tours all across the country about this, and it's just really sudden because it's actually really affecting the gay community, especially the young Black queer community. So, yeah,
dope. I think I got one.
Okay.
She 2 for 2.
I'm just
All right, this is.
I figured let's just get in it.
Your new nickname is going to be Heavy Hitter.
Yes, 1 2 hit a quitter.
This is actually 2. This is sense of smell and sense of taste. So this past weekend, my family, who is super dope and super involved in this whole campaign and everything, decided to throw a fish fry for Holy Saturday as a campaign fundraiser.
Ooh, do you have any left?
We do not.
Sure
they sold
don't.
out. But it was literally some of my aunts in the kitchen, and they got busy on some fish and French fries, and it was delicious. Side note, my youngest sister is a chef. She went to culinary school, so she and my aunt kind of got together, seasoned up the fish and did all this. So, like, the place smelled amazing. The food tasted amazing. And they did really great things with this fish fry that, they came up with. So much so that people were like, well, when's the next one?
I'm saying, when is the next one?
We're trying to work that out now, because at first it was supposed to be a one-time thing. Now it's apparently
It can't
be a series.
It can't be a one-time thing.
Please, I'm gonna need an
It
address
can't.
and a time.
'Cause I didn't
and we're
get
gonna
to
promote
go.
this as well. So
You're going to have it. You're going
Okay.
to have it, because it was dope.
I
It
was not
dope.
able to attend. I need.
Awkwardly stares at you and holds my
I
stomach.
know, right? And I'm hungry right now too. Come on now.
But they cook something serious. And like their involvement in this and the way they have just like jumped in and pitched in and helped from the day I told them I wanted to run has been amazing. So, they came up with the fish fry idea and they just kind of ran with it. It was good.
That's
Nice.
amazing. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'd like to jump in with a melanated sense. It's just a sense of everything. So Motown celebrated their 60th Grammy celebration this past Sunday. Straight out of Hittstown, Detroit, to the world, founded in January 12th of 1959. And it was just a great reminder of what our people went through trying to break into an all-white industry with the all-black label. So it was hosted by Smokey Robinson and Cedric the Entertainer. Smokey did a couple of his hits, Shop Around, Tracks in My Tears, Ooh Baby Baby. And there was one that he actually did, Shop Around, with these two guys that were like beatboxing. It was so dope. I was like, I need to learn how to make a bass with my voice. I was like, I need to practice, especially since, we do all of our beats together. Mm-hmm. I was like, I need to learn how to do that. But sidebar, we're still waiting on that Bruno Mars collab that he mentioned he would love to do when they had the Grammys. He said that, so that would be pretty dope. But Fantasia came out with her doing her thing in her leopard outfit, looking like a whole snack. Thelma Houston performed "Don't Leave Me This Way." She looked good. She sounded good. She had on a gold sparkly dress. It was flapper style. It was absolutely beautiful. And then speaking of Russell Wilson earlier, his wife Sierra did a good job of singing "Give It to Me, Baby" by Rick James. And let me tell you something. Her hairstyle was giving me life. Like, I think I need that hairstyle right now. It was just giving me life in all kinds of ways. Stevie did his thing, Higher Ground, Never Believed You Leave in Summer. And then they replayed the J-Lo, Smokey Robinson, Neo performance from the Grammys as a tribute. And I just want to say, as a sidebar, Black folk, leave J-Lo alone. Talk about she shouldn't do the Motown tribute. Come on with all of that mess. That's why we're separated now, because everybody want to say, oh, she not black enough and she did this, she did her thing. Stop hating and be quiet, because half of y'all can't even do what she did up there. So sit down and get in the corner.
I can't agree with that, because the only thing I can say is the reason why? Because there are so many other black artists who actually could have actually filled anybody, any other black artist, just an artist in general. Instead of going to the big name, go to someone who is of Motown. It didn't make any sense. And yeah,
like who?
Anybody.
I'm still waiting. You can't
we
give
can
an
move
answer.
Because it's not about that.
Like I said, stop hating on J-Lo. She did her thing. J-Lo was wonderful. I can understand if she was like honoring Tina Turner, then I'd be like, okay, that's different. But
you just said the week before about Celine Dion, and she did her thing, but she sang
different. Celine Dion is a white girl. J-Lo's Spanish. Most of the people are black.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So Stevie honored a lot of those who had passed that were on Motown, like Michael Jackson, which is interesting because they didn't actually do a tribute to Michael. Tina Marie, Rick James, of course, some of the people from the Four Top, Dennis Edwards, just to name a few. And Miss Boss, Diana Ross, did her thing. She did a Mahogany theme song, Do You Know Where You're Going? And she did Good Morning Heartache and My Man from Lady Sings the Blues. In case you young folks don't know, Lady Sings the Blues is a Billie Holiday movie that Diana Ross did. And she thanked Berry Gordy, but your girl kissed him right on the lips with a I was like, oh, okay. But speaking of Berry Gordy, he spoke afterwards, and he said,
I was a young man. Thank you. My dream was to make music for all people. Well, my dream came true. And here we are. The 60th anniversary of Motown. First, I want to thank everyone who made this evening possible. And I want to thank all of you fans and your parents. And their grandparents. All around the world, they all helped this wonderful dream and this wonderful fairy tale come true. Motown brought people together who didn't even realize they had so much in common. And I really want to thank those brave, unsung heroes of the Motown family in those early days who had the courage to follow me down roads that didn't even exist. Who laughed and cried and lived and died to make Motown what it is today. A legacy of love for everybody. And all I want to say tonight is, I love you. And I thank you all.
So we're going to move on to the meal. And because it was such a beautiful day outside, we're going to actually have a cookout. So everybody come out to the backyard. We got chairs, we got tables, we got the gazebos lined up. We got a little bit of cricket, a little bit of, what's that called? Cornhole. We got a couple of little, we also have some, what's that called? Horseshoes going on. And we're going to have a cookout outside. And we're going to have some barbecue chicken, some fried chicken, some jerk chicken, some steak.
I love
rack of lamb. Rack of lamb, fried fish, pulled pork.
You gonna eat your cornbread.
Slow roasted rabbit, hush puppies, mac and cheese, candy yams, green beans, collard greens, potato salad, macaroni salad, and not Karen's, by the way. Seafood salad. You know why? Because I got greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs.
You made it!
Greens, potatoes,
Wow.
tomatoes, chicken, turkey, rabbit.
You made it.
Sorry, was that too loud? I peeked that. Sorry, guys.
I fixed it, I think, the second time.
Somebody's going to listen to this in the car and like sway a little bit like, damn.
And for the churns, we got hot dogs and hamburgers. And then y'all know all black folk in the Northeast always got that ziti. So we got that over there in the corner. So enjoy yourself and welcome to the cookout.
All right. That's a whole. We got everything, y'all. We got all of the Piggly Wigglies, Stop and Shop, Food Lion, Wawa's.
Yeah.
Well, Wawa's a Jersey thing. People don't know.
Publix. We got all the Publix.
Yeah,
that's
Publix.
PA.
All right, guys. So back again. We're gonna circle back around to our special guest. This sister, her name is Jovia Radix, and she's running for the 45th district to be the first councilwoman, and then the first black councilwoman.
Come on, 29.
Come on, melanin. Come on, highly melanated.
Laser. I don't even know what to call you. Like, have you hit a trailblazer?
So yeah, hey,
how y'all doing?
we're really glad to have you in the studio.
I'm so glad if you're here. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Yes. Let's start off with just getting a little bit of history about you.
Sure.
And just tell us a little bit about you, where you come from, and how you got involved with politics to begin with.
Awesome. So I am a lifelong Flatbush resident.
Shout out.
Born and raised in Flatbush, Brooklyn. I am the daughter of immigrants. My mother was born in Barbados. My father was born in Grenada.
Yes.
Come on, Caribbean.
Right? So shout out to my Caribbean massive. And
all of us Caribbean wannabes.
Wow.
we accept
Thank
you,
you.
Blair. Come on.
Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you.
So I have spent most of my life in and around civic service. My mother worked for DC 37, the union, for my entire life until she became a judge. My mother is actually the highest ranking judge of Caribbean descent in the state of New York.
Wow.
And that is where I actually started in politics.
I was going to say, so you got it honest.
I got it honest.
Yeah.
So she ran for office in 2001. That was my first campaign experience, really. I was like 14 years old. And I loved it. And I was like, oh, my God, this is amazing. So after that, I went to college. And I went to the University of Pittsburgh. That's where I did my undergrad. That's why I said Wawa. Mm-hmm. And when I got to the University of Pittsburgh, I actually went as a pre-med major because I was like, I'm going to just be a doctor and this is going to be great. And I got 2 years into it and I was like, nope, this is not for me. So I changed my major, started doing political science, came back here, jumped on a campaign when Bill Thompson was running for mayor in 2009. And I did that campaign full time. I finished that campaign. I worked for Councilwoman in constituent services, and I just really loved servicing people. Like, I just really loved being around people. I really love helping people solve problems and issues, and it really just helped me be a better person and be who I am. And the more I helped people, the more I decided I needed to help myself. So I then went to LIU and got my master's. And then I came out of LIU, and I was working as the head of the Democratic County organization here in Brooklyn. And then I got a call from Andrew Cuomo's office. They were looking for a regional director for Brooklyn. So I joined their team, and I was there for 2 years. And then I decided to jump out the window and resign from my job and go to law school. So I did.
Girl.
Yeah. So every once in a while, I just get crazy, and I'm like, I'm going to jump out the window and just do something else. So
You only live once, right?
right, you know?
I mean,
Where did you go to law school?
Hofstra.
Oh, wow. That's where my cousin went.
Yeah. I went to Hofstra Law. So now I am a licensed attorney in New York State. And so, you know, politics, civic service, law, it's kind of just been in my blood and around me for my entire life.
Did you practice law?
So only for a little while. When I came out, because I graduated Hofstra in 2018. I graduated last year. I was just lucky enough to be in a program that the state has called Pro Bono Scholars. It allows you to take the bar before graduation instead of after. And then you work pro bono as a student attorney practicing different types of law instead of doing anything else. So I worked as a housing attorney, helping tenants build tenant associations for landlords that were forcing them to live in unlivable conditions so that they could go to court and sue the landlord as a group instead of trying to sue the landlord individually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the law I practiced when I came out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sound real accomplished. I
Oh,
like
thank
it.
you.
Love it.
Thank you.
you know, okay, so we're gonna dial back a quick second. So myself, as a member in your district,
Okay, awesome.
I'm from Brooklyn as well, and from Flatbush, Brownsville. That's when we moved all around a lot.
My dad works in Brownsville.
Oh, really?
Brownsville Medical Center.
Nice.
He's the
Nice.
head of dentistry there.
We can have a conversation. So, like, as you were saying earlier, as far as everybody, you know, we have been getting hit a lot with the time to vote. Because I live right there in the Junction area,
Okay.
where they're trying to change that whole area to become Midwood altogether.
Right. Yep.
What would be it from your eyes, as just walking down the street? What would be like one of the top 3 things that you would love to change about the 45th district?
I would love a overhaul of our sanitation issues. I think our sanitation issues have gotten a little out of control in the 45th district.
A lot out of control.
Right.
It's
And
nasty.
It's gross. And we have a lot of streets on our district that do not have alternate side of the street parking because, you know, we are a community, a very engaged community of people who clean up their own. But what that leaves is the ability for people to abandon cars on blocks for months on end. And, you know, residents have been really, really upset about it. So sanitation in those cars is grouped together as one thing. It's the first thing I would like to see change. Second thing is, I am really big on vocational training for our young people. I just feel like we don't do enough to encourage them to go out into the world to do something different. I would love for them to be able to get beautician's licenses or carpentry licenses or whatever it is coming out of high school in addition to a high school diploma, so that if they decide in college that college isn't what they want or their majors and what they want, they have to take time off, they have like a career to fall back on.
A trade, yeah.
Yeah. I saw that in Pittsburgh. When I got to the University of Pittsburgh, all my girlfriends had beautician's licenses, and I was very confused. But they had them because it was, you know, it was an option that they were given in Pennsylvania when they were in high school, and they used that option. So I would love to see that. And lastly, I would just love walking down the street for people to feel heard. Like, our small businesses are dope in Flatbush, Brooklyn. And as we walk around and talk to them, a lot of them have like issues that they wish people would just sit down and listen to them. So I just want them to feel, I just want to walk down Flatbush Avenue at the Junction and for them to feel heard. Like, I want the owner of Fisherman's Cove on Flatbush to feel like he's not going to get pushed out because Target came across the street. Like, I just want him to feel safe in the community that he built. So we're really working towards that as well.
So what neighborhoods make up the 45th district?
So the 45th district is Flatbush, East Flatbush, small parts of Midwood, Ditmas Park, and parts of Canarsie.
Okay.
You know, it's a pretty big
is.
big chunk. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's one of the biggest chunks of Brooklyn.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you work, I just thought of this right now, do you work with any like organizations in particular that try and focus on the improvement of that particular area? And the reason why I ask that is because for a couple of years, I went to Brooklyn College, and one of the internships that I did was working with an outside organization. I worked with SIBS, Coalition of Improvement of Bedford-Stuyvesant. I don't know. Is SIBS a part? I don't think SIBS is a part of that, but do you have something equivalent?
So we have a couple. We have Flatbush Tenants Coalition. We have the Caribbean American Chamber of Commerce, which for a long time has been a really big group, especially with Caribbean small businesses in and around the district, Flatbush and East Flatbush. They've done a lot with promoting small business and small business engagement, because when you get business owners in a room together, you'll be surprised how they can really help each other. So I've been working with them for many, many years. And I actually run a tutoring program out of the Barbados Ex-Police Association.
Oh, nice.
Which is a free Saturday program, which is every Saturday from 10 to 1. We tutor young people from first grade straight through high school who bring homework in for homework help, test prep, that type of stuff. We've been doing that for almost 10 years, me and my family.
Well, that's really nice.
Thank you. It's a good program.
I don't know if this question is the same as what PJ asked, but we're going to try it and see. Okay. Just if you are elected, what do you feel like is going to be the biggest overhaul you make? Like, is there any one particular thing that you feel like the way it exists, you want to completely like change the structure of it or just breathe new life into it? Is there anything that's going to be like drastically different, like once you get your hands on it?
Wow, that's a good question. Drastic overhaul, I don't see right now, right? Like not completely different. The 45th Council District is a beautiful place. It really is like a great living space, a good place to live, and a space where we all feel really connected to it. Like if you live and grew up in the 45th Council District, like you want to stay in the 45th Council District. It just is your space. So a complete overhaul, no, but I think that there are many small things that, like, if done at one time, can bring real change to the 45th Council District.
Great.
And, you know, for us, our biggest thing now is housing, right? Like, that would be, like, our number one move in the 45th Council District. I know for me, coming home from school, getting out of law school and making good money, and I'm like, man, I can't afford to live here. Like, you start looking at the rent, you start looking at the housing prices.
I won't leave my apartment because I got a really good deal.
Yeah.
And it's like, once I leave it, even if I decide to move to another state and then decide to come back, that's
it.
Yeah.
And, you know, so like, but at the same time, there are developments going up every day in the 45th, that none of us can afford to live in.
Right.
So for me, that can't happen, because what you'll see is the young people who live in the district who go away to college then won't come back because there's nowhere for them to be. But then who's going to take care of the community that was built for us, right? So housing is a thing, like, I really want to work on making sure housing is like income targeted housing, not like affordable housing that goes off the AMI of the city, and you know, it's just so different and so weird. So housing is the first thing for me that, like, we really have to address in the 45th.
So I just was wondering, I know we're talking a lot about the issues that you would like to face head on right now, but I've noticed that we're up for election in our country coming soon, and that there's some topics being talked on the big stage, and one of them that affects us directly as Black folks is reparations. And I just wanted to know, what was your take on this talk of having the reparations, and how do you feel about that, and how would you feel that would be appropriately handled amongst Black people, especially when you have Black folk that are mixed, let's say, have a Black parent, a white parent? Just wanted to know your views on that.
So I don't know if that is an issue that we're actually talking about because they want to do it, or an issue that they're talking about because they want to distract us from what's actually going on in Washington.
Okay, let that be said.
Because we have magicians in Washington that do one thing and show us something else, and they continue to distract us from what's really going on. I think
it's all sleight of hand.
Right. I think for me in the 45th District, I think before we talk about reparations in our district, we need to talk about immigration. Because we are a district of immigrants. We are a district of people who came here from different countries. And for the first time in my life, under this administration, I've seen ICE on the street picking people up in our community. It's never happened before. It's just not a thing. And people being at their neighborhood Jamaican restaurant and ICE showing up on the corner to pick up dollar van drivers. I think before I ever heard Washington talk about reparations and what they want to give, I want Washington to tell me what we are going to do with our dreamer kids. I want Washington to tell me what we are going to do with our immigration policies in this country. And I want them to tell me how they are going to help the immigrants that already live here and stop detaining people at the border. I really am not completely interested in what our president has to say usually, and much less interested in what he has to say about reparations at this point.
Okay. Speaking of dollar van drivers, I've noticed that there's a conversation going on where the MTA is going up, and then a lot of them also have been where they're losing people, and then a lot of them also have been being harassed by law enforcement because of where they stop to pick up. Is that an issue or something that you would want to tackle in your district? And if so, how can you help to make it better for the dollar van drivers, especially since a lot of them are from the Caribbean?
I absolutely do want to tackle it. We actually have a transportation video out right now talking about it, and it's so funny because the comments were it was so different. Like, there were people in the comments like, "Are you really advocating for dollar van drivers?" And I'm like, I am, because I think we have to get out of the stigma that they're illegal, because many of them are illegal. There are commuter van laws in this city, and those van drivers are legal, and they are really trying to feed their families. And we as a city have to be fair. When there is a strike or something, we depend on them. And many of us in our community depend on them every day, strike or no strike. We depend on these vans, especially in districts like the 45th the 45th is a transit desert. Like, if you need to get to, I know if I need to get to Utica Avenue train station, I have to go from Utica and Avenue K all the way up to Utica and Eastern Parkway to get to the train. Or if I want to get to the 5 train, I've got to take a Flatlands bus to a Flatbush bus to get to the train. So when you start talking about dollar vans and Uber and those type of things, like, these are things that really, for our district, they help us get where we have to go. So yeah, I want to, we have to figure out clear rules to protect our dollar van drivers and protect our commuter vans from going back and forth. And granted, there are bad actors, and like, we can deal with our bad actors accordingly. But the legal ones that are doing the right thing and are just trying to feed their families, I'll be there to protect them.
So let me just add on to that, because of course, being born and raised here in Brooklyn, dollar van, Utica, Flatbush. Right. I mean, Utica. Flatbush. You're used to that. You know what it is. There are arguments of saying that a lot of the dollar van drivers are a little bit aggressive on the road. I'm trying to figure out a nice way to say it. Yeah. I think that may have something to do with the argument of why they're trying to find them all out. Right. But they're like, literally, like, when I get on the one, and they were complaining and arguing about somebody got a $2,000 fine. Fine, yeah. But you just saw me like 5-10 minutes ago. It's like you're filling a quota or something, but it's not fair. So my question is there a way, if we're gonna, that Brooklyn can at least, or maybe like in your idea of safer drivers for the dollar van? Yeah. Because sometimes most of the time I feel like I'm gonna get where I got to go in less than 10 minutes, but because instead of getting on that 2 train. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I do think that we have to, I think that there has to be real, like, open conversations. But we can't ignore them either, right? Like, we can't keep saying, hey, they're a problem, and just slap them with fines and ignore them, right? Because there are dangerous ones. Like I said, we have bad actors, and we have to deal with our bad actors accordingly. But I think, too, that what I have seen growing up in this community is that they have their own, like, little conglomerate system of folks that, like, they get together, they talk to each other, and I think that if we had a conversation with them as a group the way it is, like, look, it'll be a lot easier for us to fix this system if you guys kept it safe, stayed out of whatever, stayed on the lanes that we give you to stay on, pick up where the pickup sections are. then, it'll be easier for us to fight for you going in for things to change. But I think all of that starts with conversations and education. And I think that they would be more willing to say to some of the ones that they see on the street acting reckless, like, look, you're going to make this bad for all of us if you don't slow down, or if you don't start picking people up in the right places, and don't go stop here, or don't pick up here. Because they do have conversations with each other. I think we just don't have enough conversations with them.
Okay, really quick. So you're also running. Who are your running mates or running against?
So there are 8 of us in this race. 5 women and 3 men. This race is really great with Black Girl Magic. There are 4 Black women running.
Okay, right.
And then there is one young woman who is Jewish, and then there are 3 Black males. So it's 8 of us at the moment.
All right.
It's the women's time, so
Yep.
yeah.
It's the year of the woman.
We discussed this on our first episode of the year. We had Carmen. She came in and she gave a reading, and she explained it how this is the year, not just the year, but like the decades, the years.
Ooh, I like
that. So
this.
it's coming. But go ahead, Yush.
I had another question, but I want to start off with this one because you just mentioned that there are five women running in this race and 3 men, correct?
Yes.
So can you just tell us in your own words, what would set you apart from your candidates, especially the other 4 Black women that you're running against? What makes you different, and why should we give you our vote?
I am the youngest woman in this race. And I think that although I'm the youngest, I am at a place where I have a different perspective with our young people in and coming out of college, because I'm kind of closer to them, and with our older folks who raised me and have kind of prepared me or helped me prepare to be in this place. I'm also the only attorney in this race, and it's not lost on me that we write law in the city council. So I always think it's important to just have that background going in. So I don't take that lightly either going in. I think that I can honestly say that for me, the 45th Council District is in a good place, because I think that of the 5 women running, especially the 4 young African-American women running, I think if any of us ended up in that seat, the 45th District would be in a good place. And as long as we accept whatever decision the community makes and rally around whoever that is, whether it be me or whoever else, that the 45th District will always come out stronger, because I think that we are in a good position to be led well. However, I do believe, of course, that I would lead better than my counterparts. But And, I've been in and around government for a long time. I've worked for the council. I've worked in budgeting. I've worked for the governor. Like, I know the players. I kind of know the game. I know how it goes. I don't have to find the budget office at City Hall on day one. I don't have to, be reintroduced to some of the folks, because I've been in and around it for a long time. So it's one of those things where I just feel at this point I've been prepared to step into this place and just be ready to go on day one.
It is your time.
Wonderful. So with that being said, where do you see yourself in reference to the future of politics? Are you looking to get higher? When I say that, I mean Senate, Congress, things of those nature. Or is that a path that you're looking to pursue?
Honestly, whatever God has for me at this point, He has for me. I honestly right now am focused on servicing the people of the 45th Council District, and that's my focus. That's where I am. That's where my head is. That's where my heart is. Like, to serve the people of the 45th District, who served me my entire life, and that's where I am. I really have not begun to think about what happens at the end of this city council term, but I do plan to do what I've done most of my life and just trust God.
Amen.
Right.
Wonderful, wonderful. So in your videos, I watched your videos that you did send to us. Thank you for sharing. For our young folk, the ones that are under 18, do you have any plans for, let's say, any type of centers, like after school centers or places where they can go, especially during the winter, because in the wintertime you really don't play outside or you don't go to the park. Do you have any plans for anything for the young folks during the winter that they can do, let's say after school, that is productive or progressive towards the education and them going to high school and college?
Absolutely. So the Brooklyn Public Library right now is actually doing coding classes.
Wonderful.
And I would hope that we could get those classes in the libraries in our district. We have a library right now that is under construction and is being fixed, and we hope that when they fix it, we can get some movement there on getting coding classes for our young people. I think there's like a whole technological economy that we're not preparing our kids for.
Exactly.
Let's
I
talk
mean,
about,
we're not.
right. We. You know, it's not them, it's us. We are failing them, right? Like, we are not preparing our children to create the video games they like to play or code the cell phones that they use. We just aren't. So I would love to put resources into things like coding classes. Also, arts, dancing, whether it be visual arts or whether it be performance art. I danced as a child. My mom had me in dance classes from kindergarten straight through high school. And, you know, it taught you discipline, and it was a place to be every day. So, you know, if we could create those type of programs in the district and partner with nonprofits in the district and even for-profits in the district that can hold a class maybe once a week or twice a week, where these children get to have an outlet. I would love to do that. And of course, I plan, no matter what happens, to continue to work at my tutoring program every Saturday. And it is one that is solely funded by my family. Like, we go in every Saturday, we feed the kids, and you know that all that money comes out of our pockets. We don't get money from the city or the state or anything. So you know, I would like to continue that program as well, even if I'm elected, to, you know, make sure that happens.
That is absolutely wonderful. And then speaking of the children, just to get on to our elders, the senior citizens, and especially our veterans, because we have a lot of veterans that are especially elders. Are there any programs that you may set up for them per se?
So we have a few senior centers in the district. We have been going around to the senior centers, meeting with the seniors, which is so much fun. We did Tai Chi with them one day. I went to one senior center. I got to electric slide with them. They have a lot of fun. I think we have to make sure that those centers have the resources to stay open, so that our seniors have a place to go. They do a lot at the centers, and they have a lot of programming and resources. So I want to stay on top of that. But in order to do that, we have to stay on top of senior housing in the 45th. Just to ensure that the seniors have a place to live and they are not being priced out or asked to move and downsize just because they've gotten older. Because they built that community. We are just living off the fruits of their labor at this point. So we have to ensure that we protect them. So that's going to be one thing that I will be definitely fighting for when I get to the city council.
I think that's just
Wonderful.
so amazing that you embody like everything that you're running for. You know, like you said, like you're not, you know, the elected councilwoman right now, but that doesn't mean that you can't look into who owns that lot. You know, that you can't be, you know, an active citizen. You and your family fund this after school program. You don't get the budget for that. You are somebody who is actually like doing all the things that you say that you're going to do in your platform, regardless of whether or not, you know, you're elected into that position. So I just think that that's worth mentioning.
That is pretty dope.
You know, just to kind of like piggyback off what she said, and I guess the question that I was rolling around in my head is that I think a lot of people, whether it be politics, whether it be teachers, parents, we don't do enough as a community, you know, to help each other out. So what are you ultimately wanting to see from, you know, the 45th district in terms of how we unify our resources, our time and effort? Because as great as you are, you're a trailblazer in some of the stuff that you've already like mentioned. As great as you are, you can't do it by yourself. So what are you wanting from the people of the 45th district? What do you think that are they starting to do that? Do you feel like we need to find a way to like push them into that area? What are we looking at?
So the 45th district, we are really civically engaged. Like, we have forums for this race. We had one the other night, and it was like the room was full. They had to turn people away. There was no space, right? So we are a district of people who really do care about the district. And I think that has a lot to do with it being a district of homeowners, right? Because it really is a heavy homeowner district. More than apartments and buildings, it's a lot of homeowners. So these are folks who have invested they invested 30 years in this district, 40 years.
Some beautiful houses in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So they plan to be there, so they are engaged in what's going on around them. And we have some great block associations that work really hard, great civic associations, great education councils. I would just encourage anyone in the 45th district who is not a member of a block association or a civic association or a civic council to reach out, go to a community board meeting one Wednesday and meet some folks, and go hang out at your local shout out to Suede, because that's like my favorite in-district restaurant. Go hang out at Suede one weekend and meet this young brother. His name is Chasen. He is St. Lucian, and he owns a couple of restaurants in Brooklyn, Suede and Caribbean Social. And they really are just doing some great things for like young professionals, and just having a place to hang out and eat and politic and get to know people. So I suggest just getting involved in the district, like especially if you just bought a house there and you know you're going to be there for a while. This is a district that's very engaged as it is, and folks are already involved. Mm-hmm. So my hope would be that anyone who is not involved or doesn't care to be involved, just one day, just take a night and go down to a community board meeting or a civic association meeting and see how involved the folks that are there really are in this district, and how much we pay attention to our community.
Nice. So, speaking of being in this district, and, as I said before, I'm a resident of the district. Mm-hmm. If myself as a resident mm-hmm. to be put in the shoes of filing a complaint or whatever, and this is just for general knowledge for anybody who's listening,
yep.
What would they do? Let's say that you were a council, you became the first black city councilwoman of the 45th district. I'm just going to keep saying
it into existence.
Yes.
That's what we do.
Right.
That's what I do. What would this person need to do just to know what they're supposed to do as the rights that we have as residents?
So the first thing I would do is encourage you to come to my office. I plan to have a staff of people who will always be there to answer whatever questions you do have, and whatever complaints you do have. So please come to my office and file whatever complaint it is, so I can help you find whatever agency or department you need to speak to get it resolved. Because I think a lot of the time what happens is we just don't know where to go. So we kind of spend a lot of time kind of mulling around where we should go or who we should speak to. Mm-hmm. So that's the first. I would encourage you to come into my office and have a conversation with me or a member of my staff, and just say, hey, I just want to, this is what happened to me. As a council person, I have already spoken to some folks that are with me. I plan to have a email online hotline where you can put in those types of complaints, where we can send you in different places as well. Just so that we can have those conversations. And I also want to do two things when I'm in the council. The first is to have monthly town hall meetings, mm-hmm. Where I literally come to the people and stand in front of them, and you guys can yell, throw tomatoes, whatever it is you want to do at that date. Because, I understand that we're not always going to be friends, but as long as we're respectful, I'm cool with that.
Politics is politics.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
And the other thing I want to do is council in the corner, where I want to literally set up tables on the corner in the summer, fall, and spring, as long as it's not raining or snowing. And just sit down out there and talk to the constituents as they come about whatever issues you have, so that we can field your complaints. I encourage us to take a look at everyone, right? Mm-hmm. Like, sit down, take a look, and just go on everybody's website, follow people's social media, check it out. Like,
get involved.
Get involved, make an educated decision, right? Because, I'm sure that if you get involved and make an educated decision, like, we'll land in the right place.
God, I appreciate that you said that so much, because I feel like, especially in our community, and I'm not saying this is wrong, but I feel like so often it's like, well, like when President Obama was running for office, people are like, oh, I'm going to vote for him because he's black. But do you know anything about what he's going to do when he's in office? Like, I understand that, like, these are things that, like, we need to do, but at the same time too, we need to know who it is that we're voting for.
Right.
So I truly appreciate that you said that, because it is important for you to know and educate yourself, because you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you know that whole thing in the movie. You know how I always keep going back to TV or music or movies. So you know how that whole thing about when Randall ran for city council and he wasn't a resident of the area, and how they all looked down upon him. Now I kind of understand it a little bit better. But the thing is that you would appreciate, you would want someone who's born and raised and who knows the area, who knows the grassroots of it. I think that's more important than somebody just getting elected and then thrown in. Oh, so these are the kind of people. Oh, I can't relate.
Right.
So, but yeah.
Right. Very important.
Sidebar for everyone that does not know when he means Randall, they're talking about This Is Us.
I said
Catch
This
up
Is
if you
Us.
haven't.
I said
Oh,
This
okay.
Is Us. I am very much
greatest
Randall,
shows on
which is
TV.
ridiculous. I'm turning into Randall as I get older and older. But
Well, that's not a bad thing.
It is.
Old.
Randall's amazing.
No, you're right.
What is the percentage of people who reside in 45th District who vote, and then those who don't vote?
So our voting population in the 45th District is 181,000. And in the public advocates race, 8,100 voted.
Yeah, so we have to find ways to actually
Right.
get people involved.
Yep.
Okay, so to close us out, as you notice, we're a bunch of foodies here. So, of course, we have to end with dessert because that's just the way it goes.
What kind of food is without dessert?
Okay, so since we're at a backyard barbecue, I think it's only appropriate that we have some type of sheet cake because
Niggas love sheet cake.
niggas love sheet cake.
Sheet cake, banana pudding.
I mean, that's there too, but you got to have like the option. So, Jovia, if you could share with us your go-to, because there's if you go into a good cookout, there's at least 3 options. There's at least 3 different ones there. So, what is the first tray that you are going to? And then with that, can you just give us your final thoughts? Just the lasting impressions that you want to leave on the listening audience.
Absolutely. Okay, so, man. So I, like I said, am West Indian. So for me, things don't go well without some good black cake. So I need my good black rum cake.
Wow, there we have it.
That's just me.
Now I
need it.
know I love you because
Again, still we need that address for those fish fries.
No, I'm trying to
We're getting it. We're getting it.
it.
So that's the first thing. I think for me, to close out, I first just want to thank you all for having me today and in letting me in your space because, this is a good space to be in. But I also just want to say that, May the 14th, we all have a choice to make in the 45th Council District. And I, of course, hope you choose me, right? Vote for Jovia. But I just do hope that you make a choice, right? And that we go out and we are engaged and we get involved. And we ensure that we have who's representing us, who we want to represent us. I want it to be that. And when we're done, when this is over on May the 15th, well, I shouldn't even say that because we have to run twice. We have to run May 14th. And then we have to run again for the primary on June the 25th. But whatever happens, on June the 26th, whoever we choose in the 45th Council District, I just want everyone now who is running and everyone who has decided to support a different candidate to just come in together and support whoever the community has chosen to be their council person so that they can get their job done. Because it'll be very hard to get their job done if we all just band against them just because we didn't support them. I think at that point we have to support them and just work hard to make sure that we are where we need to be.
nice.
Beautifully
Boom.
said.
Oh my God. So thank you so much for coming
Thank
in.
you.
Where can everybody find your office, find your information? I'm going to put all this in here as well,
Awesome.
but
Okay.
from your voice.
Okay, so office. We are at 4517 Avenue D. We are on the second floor. Our social media, we can be found on Radix for Council. That's the number 4 on Facebook and Twitter. And on Instagram, it's Radix for Council, the word for FOR, Radix for Council on Instagram. And we can be found online at radixforcouncil.com.
All right. Guys, thank you for taking the time to listen to another episode of Highly Melanated. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, you can email us again at highlymelanatedpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on social media platforms, which is Highly Melanated on Instagram and H_melanatedpod on Twitter. And just go out and make your voice heard, guys. So on that note,
Get out and vote. Vote for Jovia.
Woo!
Miss Radix.
Radix for Council.
Love,
One
peace,
city.
and Radix for council.
One
One
city.
city, one Brooklyn, one people.
Hey.
Mic drop.